I think there's no doubt that we were helped by the appointment of Antonio Vasquez as the chairman and CEO of Iberia, and that gave a renewed focus to the discussions that we were having. And I'm delighted that we've been able to make significant progress since his appointment a few months ago.
You stuck to your guns on the 55-45%. In fact, you got more perhaps than you'd expected to get. You were down at 53% at one stage. So to that extent, it has been a victory for your negotiating position.
Well, I think it's a fair deal. I think we come out of this with a deal that we're happy with at British Airways and that Iberia is happy with. And that's important with any deal, that both parties can walk away at the end of those negotiations and say we're happy with this. And I'm really pleased that we've got there. I think this is a very fair deal. I think we've recognised that it is a genuine merger. I think the result of the discussions that we've had has delivered a structure that will work and one that will make sure that we play to the strengths of the two airlines.
There is an unexploded bomb in the Memorandum of Understanding, and it is the pension liabilities. Not only are there no guarantees from Iberia and Topco, it gives Iberia the right to pull out if they're not satisfied on reasonable economic grounds. Now, how are you going to diffuse that thing before it goes off? Because you haven't managed to solve it yet.
No, I think we're very confident. The issue here is not the scale of the deficit. The issue here is the plan that is put in place to address that deficit, and it specifically relates to the cash that BA will have to pay into the pension fund to address the deficit. It's very simple. The deficit belongs to British Airways and will continue to belong to British Airways. It does not belong to Iberia or to the Topco, and that structure is very clear.
The other issue, of course, is antitrust immunity. Now, one suspects that this deal with Iberia will pass regulatory approval. You wouldn't have gone this far if you didn't think it was going to.
No.
But you want to add the third leg on the code share and on the antitrust immunity of American airlines. Where do we stand on that? When are you expecting to hear about it, and why are you still so confident?
I believe we'll hear from the US Department of Transportation within weeks. I'm very confident because if you look at the US DOT ruling in relation to the Star Alliance, everything it's said in relation to Star applies to our application, and I would argue applies plus in terms of our application. So I'm very confident that we will get approval. The regulators have identified with the Star application that there are significant consumer benefits, and I believe they apply in the case of One World as well.
This is a well-travelled road. Air France, KLM, Lufthansa Swiss, Lufthansa Austrian. What have you learned from those other examples?
A very important question, because we have watched and learned from the successes of Air France, KLM, Lufthansa Swiss, and we've also tried to identify where they may have done things better. And one of the things that's very clear to me, and that was absolutely clear in the case of Air France, KLM, is it's about the culture. It's about the relationship between the people at the top in both of the airlines. That's what makes it work. If you can get the right culture, if you can get the right atmosphere, if you can get the right rapport between the people at the top of the businesses, then you're on the road to success. And that's why I think the relationship that I have with Antonio Vasquez and that we've developed over the last few months makes me confident that we will succeed.